And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome back to our continuing coverage of X-Men United as we look at all the stuff. There's not even all of it here. But today we're taking a look at Gold Team. Way back in the days, in the 90s, the X-Men were separated into two teams, the Gold Team and the Blue Team. And Simon said, let's also separate these folks into different boxes so that you can buy both. So I'm going to talk about these in different videos. Today we're talking about the Gold Team as they fight the forgettable villain, Sebastian Shaw. Not necessarily forgettable in the game per se, but forgettable in real life, in my opinion anyway. So in this box, there are rules for you to play Gold Team versus Blue Team. It's in both boxes, but you can do it just with one of these. You have the rules for that. So let's take a look at the heroes and stuff from this box, the new rules, and we'll be right back. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. First, we have the extra unit. So we have Sebastian Shaw, who he's hard to damage and makes heroes play their card randomly. And then we got 5 of the most popular X-Men there is. Although I think the other set has more popular, the other team. But we got Bishop, Colossus, Angel. Colossus, by the way, has fastball special, which is a lot of fun. Iceman, who I believe so the Iceman model is all clear blue plastic, so kind of going to be maybe a tough job to paint, or maybe you don't paint it. By the way, the Angel model, fantastic. It has some cool special cards, Death from Above, and then Forge in this set, with a gun bigger than anything else. This Iceman is not as good, I think, as the Iceman in First Class, but they're all pretty, other than Iceman, I think the other 4 are all very solid characters to play. It also comes with some more locations. We have the capital of the Shar Empire. Here we can discard a token to get 2. Discard a card to defeat a henchman in any location, but it doesn't clear the threat. I don't know how I feel about that one. Krakoa, you can move all heroes from this location to another at the end of your turn. That's pretty powerful. And discard 2 cards to delay the next villain turn by a card. I don't know. I don't know if I love that one, but they're there. So that's the basic stuff in this set. And oh, did I mention Colossus Fastball Special? One of my favorite cards in the game. But we'll talk more about that when I rate all the heroes. So we have that. Let's talk about the Gold Team versus the Blue Team. So you can play with 2 or 3 heroes each, and you snap these bases on, which do stay on. I just didn't do a very good job at that. Then each team is going to take their own set of mission cards. So these are like the regular mission cards, but they are smaller. So instead of 9 thugs or civilians, it's 5. Instead of 4 threats, it's 2. You each have these. You're going to play with this player board here in the middle of the table, and you're going to start 2 spaces away from the villain rather than 3. One team clockwise, the other counterclockwise. This is going to change as the game goes by, but what's going to happen is the villain's actually slightly easier because you're going to have 2 timelines. You'll have one timeline for one character, and you'll use cards from your own timeline out there, but you play them in order. So someone from the blue team might go, then someone from the yellow team, then someone from the blue team, then someone from the yellow team, then someone from the blue team, someone from the yellow team, then the villain, and go on and so forth. Now, once you finish one of your missions, each mission will have a lock token on it. You'll put that lock token here, and now the bad guy is under pressure, which means you can damage him, and he's going to go every 2 cards. Although the other team can't damage him until they finish their first mission. Well, they can't damage the hero at all. They're not under pressure to the second one. Sorry about that. I'm saying he's going every other round. He's under pressure when you get the second one out there, but only you can damage him. The other team can't damage him until they get their second one out there. So you're trying to finish these missions as quickly as you can. You can also damage each other. You can attack other heroes with your cards that do attacks, although you cannot kill them. You can only make them go down to their last card, although you might be setting them up for the villain to kill them. Once you can do damage to the villain, you just start putting damage on the card here. And the damage for the villain is going to be at the maximum value, the 4-player value. But you put damage here. When the villain's defeated, whoever has more damage on their side wins the game. Of course, the villain can still win the game and everybody lose. And then this will just turn back and forth each turn to show who has initiative and who goes first. So that's the gold team versus the blue team. You don't need to play with the characters in here. You just need to play with any characters. The rules have some changes depending. There's some villains that you're going to have to change through, and then there's a whole list of villains that do not work, although these aren't common villains like Dark Phoenix, Apocalypse, Dormammu, Gila, Lady Deathstrike, Legion, Mystique, Sentinels, and Sinister Six when you play all of them together. Then it tells you how to use some of the challenges in here, how supervillain mode works, although I don't think I would try that. It turns into a 3-player game. There's actually quite a few rules, almost as many as the base game. But I gotta say, it's not that complex once you understand how it works. So that's kind of what's here inside this box. I like these heroes. And overall, I find this to be a fun set to play. The gold and blue team is not something I want to do all the time, but it worked much better than I thought. I don't know what I was expecting. It's interesting because you can set someone else up to do something, especially when you're getting rid of threats. I can do 2 on a threat, and someone can come in and steal the 3rd one, Z Garcia, and get it for you. So you have to keep that in mind. Damaging each other happens more of an afterthought, I think. So don't feel like this game is a full-out attack on other players. It's going to make most of the villains slightly easier, although you can buff them up. There's ways to do that in this game, of course. But I don't think that matters because it's all about being a race to finish it. Although some villains are actually harder against when you're playing in this mode. But for the most part, this is pretty cool. I mean, even if it didn't have the blue versus gold, you're getting 5 of the, of the most well-known X-Men that are out there. And then Sebastian Shaw, the most well-known, finely dressed puncher of people that's out there. Anyway, yellow team versus blue team. That's a hard call. I kind of like the heroes better in yellow team. Blue team, I like the villain better. But you can see that in that box. But anyway, this is still a good amount of content. I think it's worth getting. I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Dice Tower coverage of X-Men United. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent.